interesting. We talk a lot of Colorado football here on this channel, and it's in large part because Colorado is probably the most, they're the most interesting team in college football, and you guys love them, and you guys care about them, and you guys want to hear and talk about them more than any other program in college football. At the same time, though, what's kind of interesting about Colorado is that it feels like it's been a quiet couple weeks around that program, right? 2 weeks ago, last week, but last week in the lead up to the game, you're playing Arizona State. They're not very good. It's on the Pac-12 network. We all had to find unique ways to find that game since most of us don't get the Pac-12 network. Wink, wink. I won't tell anybody. I promise it'll be our little secret. This week you have Stanford. Listen, Stanford's first-year head coach. They're going through their struggles. I think Colorado's going to – I'm very confident Colorado's going to win. They're an 11-point favorite. I think they actually win pretty convincingly on Friday night. Still, it's been a quiet couple days, but there was one interesting thing that came out of Coach Prime's press conference on Tuesday outside of the status of Travis Hunter, which we obviously talked about yesterday. It was an interesting conversation, and it really centers around Shaduer Sanders and that famous celebration that he's created, the one that they call the Shaduer. You know what I'm talking about, but that is when Shaduer Sanders, in a big moment last week, it was after they beat Arizona State on the walk-off. He ran to the Arizona State student section, points at his watch, basically saying, your time's up. It's my time. It's our time. It's whatever. But the celebration is taken off. You turn on the NFL on Sundays, people are doing it. Players are doing it. NBA players in the preseason are starting to do it. So this thing is huge. And it was interesting because, and I know many of you saw this, but Coach Prime was asked about it at his press conference on Tuesday. And he's kind of asked, what do you think of the celebration, this and that? And here is what he had to say. He said, quote, well, I think we've just got to get him a lucrative watch deal. He can't keep doing it for free. We've got to capitalize. He is my son. We got to capitalize on the moment, right? And so look, I think everybody kind of saw that quote. I think everybody laughed about it. But I want to take it a step further because to me, it says something very interesting and something that I don't believe that Coach Prime gets enough credit for. One, I believe Coach Prime is point blank, end of story, one of the savviest business people that I have ever seen in any walk of life. But two, and I think this is the important part, in sports and in college sports where we talk about, life lessons and teaching boys to become men and using college as a learning experience for the rest of your adult life. I really do love that Coach Prime uses opportunities like this to help his players. And by the way, not just his son Shaduer, not just his other son Shiloh, but all 85 guys on the roster kind of take advantage of a moment like this and actually make some money. Time is money, energy is money, effort is money. And Coach Prime does a great job of kind of instilling kind of that knowledge on his players. And as far as Coach Prime's concerned, listen, like I said, I think he's one of the savviest business guys that I have ever seen. Point blank, end of story. In sports, we have Shaq. Shaq has his face on everything. But Coach Prime is right up there in the conversation, right? Brilliant businessman. He's been a brilliant businessman. And really the thing that I love about him, because I got a little bit of this in me too. Somebody comes at me, I go back at him, and then I try to figure out a way, how do I make a buck off of it? That's kind of what Coach Prime does, right? For people who have followed from the Jackson State days, there was a moment last year, Alabama State, a head coach named Eddie Robinson Jr., not related to Eddie Robinson, the Grambling State coach. Eddie Robinson Jr. is critical of Coach Prime, says, you're not swag, blah, 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 this and that. So what does Coach Prime do? Goes to the podium, he says, if I'm not swag, who is swag? Or something to that effect. And if I'm missing the quote, I apologize. But he said, if I'm not swag, who is swag? And so I bring it up because he goes to the podium, he responds, and you know what ends up happening? That Monday morning meeting that follows that game, he's got his whole team chanting it. He's wearing a t-shirt, and he sold a bunch of t-shirts that said it. I loved it. I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was savvy as hell. And you know what he did this year? The same exact thing with Jay Norvell. Jay Norvell, take off your sunglasses and hat when you speak to me, young man. And Deion's like, not only am I not going to take off my sunglasses, you should learn more about my sunglasses that I sell. And he ended up making $1 million off of it that week from that Jay Norvell quote. Jay Norvell comes at him. Jay Norvell thinks he's being funny. Coach Prime gets the last laugh all the way to the bank. making millions of dollars in the process. Thank you, everybody, for your support of the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube channel. And we do have a major announcement as major news has come to the state of Kentucky. That is right, legal sports betting now available in Kentucky. And here is the cool part. The Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel has now partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook and the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And as a thank you to listeners of this channel, DraftKings Sportsbook has an incredible offer for all first-time customers. First-time customers, here's what you need to know. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet $5 on any game. You get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use the code TORRES. That's Torres, Torres. All you got to do, it's very simple. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook online. Bet $5 on any game. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use the code Torres. First-time customers, take advantage of this exclusive offer. It's an incredible deal. Thank you to DraftKings. Could not be more fired up to be working with the DraftKings Sportsbook. But what I think is especially cool is kind of what I just said a minute ago, is that if you really follow this stuff closely, and because I'm in the business, like I kind of pay attention to everything. And this is like Coach Prime, this is what he does. He does it for himself, but he does it for his players too. Obviously, I think everybody knows, but first of all, taking outside his players, but his oldest son, Deion Sanders Jr., runs his social media, Well Off Media. And I think that's great. You could hire anybody to do social media, but one, he saw his son had a gift for it. Two, he saw his son had a passion for it. Three, whatever. It has become a symbiotic relationship where Well Off Media has helped promote Coach Prime and his program. But it all started as a dad seeing his son have a passion for something and saying, you know what, why don't you come do that for us? And it has been great. Beyond that, I just look at, listen, many of you are probably watching this on YouTube. I stay on this channel as long as you can. But what I find interesting is as I'm searching for stuff and whatever, I see a Travis Hunter channel pop up, a Shiloh Sanders channel pop up, a Shaduer Sanders pop up. That's business 101. Travis Hunter, I looked it up before I came on just to make sure this was accurate. He has a YouTube channel with over 300,000 subscribers. By the way, I should mention, remember when Travis Hunter entered the transfer portal last year and he said, oh, you want to know where I'm going? Subscribe to my channel. When I get to 100,000 subscribers, we will reveal where I'm going. Well, I haven't looked at how many views that number did or how many views that video did. But what I can tell you is, without getting into too much of the economics of YouTube, I guarantee you Travis Hunter is making a pretty penny every single month. Forget NIL. Forget a deal with this brand or that brand or whatever. Just from YouTube, I guarantee he is making a very nice, pretty penny, not enough to buy the biggest mansion in the world, although he does have a video on YouTube of his house tour with his girlfriend. But, it's discretionary income, it's extra income. And again, it comes from that business savvy that Coach Prime has instilled in these kids. Same with Shaduer Sanders. Shaduer has a channel. I think I looked at 100-something thousand followers. The most recent video that he posted, which I think is about the celebration, I think it's about his dad talking about him, has over 100,000 views in under 24 hours. That is a nice little pretty penny for Shaduer to just have some coin in his pocket for this coming weekend, for the bye weekend, for Saturday and Sunday. Shiloh has a YouTube channel with over 100,000 subscribers. I saw this Jimmy Horn, for people who are just like, oh, Coach Prime's only looking out for his kids. Jimmy Horn's got a channel. Jimmy Horn, the young dynamic wide receiver, has a channel with, I think it's, 10, 12,000 subscribers, but he barely posts. His most recent video has 50,000 views. So these are the things that Coach Prime is teaching his kids. By the way, I've talked about it many times. I think this is what's going to sell in recruiting. It's not just that you're playing for a Hall of Famer. It's not just that you're playing at the cool school. It's the branding that comes with Colorado. We saw this week that Colorado football's Instagram hit 1 million followers. That is crazy when you consider that I think they're the 4th team. Only Alabama, Ohio State, and LSU have 1 million followers. Are you kidding me? That is absurd, but it speaks to the reach of this program, and it speaks to how Coach Prime has created this business environment on top of a football environment. And really, that's kind of just the theme of what I want to get out here. Is it goes back to what I said a minute ago, is that all these coaches, they go into kids' living rooms and I'm going to teach your son to be a man and we're going to make him a better person and all that good stuff. Also, college, that is where you're supposed to learn life lessons, life skills for the rest of your life. Well, I wish somebody was teaching me this stuff at 18, 19, 20 years old, because as a business owner myself, I got to learn it the hard way. I don't have a mentor like Coach Prime. And by the way, for people, I know I'll get people in the comments, oh, any coach would do that. No. I don't see Nick Saban telling kids to start their own YouTube channel. I see some coaches still fighting NIL. Dabo Swinney's still fighting NIL. Other coaches fight NIL. So I love this from Coach Prime. I think it's totally unique. But like I said, this dude is not only one of the most smart businessmen that I have ever seen, but I love that he is getting his kids involved, his team involved, his players involved, allowing them to learn from everything that he's done. And oh, by the way, Shaduer's going to have that watch soon. Just be ready. I'm just telling you right now, be prepared, because give it probably by the end of the bye week. There's going to be somewhere where you can buy the official Shaduer Sanders watch, and I am totally here for it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube channel. Also, make sure to follow on Instagram at Aaron_Torres, or Aaron Torres Pod on Instagram, Aaron_Torres on Twitter.